This week marks 30 years since one of the most pivotal moments in modern history, the fall of the Berlin Wall. Its collapse on November 9, 1989, signaled not only the end of a decades-long Cold War, but also a new era of global relations. The wall, which had divided East and West Germany since 1961, became an enduring symbol of the ideological clash between communism and democracy. But what does this monumental event truly signify 3 decades later? How has its legacy shaped Germany and the world? The answers lie in examining both the triumphs and the challenges that followed that historic night. The night the wall came down. On that historic evening in November 1989, the world watched in awe as jubilant East Germans scaled the concrete barrier that had divided families and ideologies for nearly 3 decades. Armed with nothing more than hammers, they began chipping away at the wall, while thousands of West Germans gathered in solidarity on the other side. It was a moment of unbridled celebration, a collective cry for freedom and democracy after years of oppressive communist rule. The wall's fall was not just the end of a physical barrier, but also a powerful statement against the division of human aspirations and rights. The images broadcast around the globe captured the euphoria and hope of that night. Yet the road to this moment was paved with decades of tension and sacrifice. The fall was the culmination of a wave of protests, resistance, and the resilience of those who dared to challenge the status quo. The wall's origin and purpose. The Berlin Wall, erected in 1961 by East Germany with Soviet backing, aimed to stop the mass exodus of East Germans to the West, which threatened the communist regime's stability. By then, over 3 million had fled in search of Western prosperity and freedoms, causing a devastating brain drain for the socialist economy. Post-World War II, Germany was divided into East and West, with the West under US, UK, and French control, and the East under Soviet governance. The wall became a symbol of Cold War tensions, representing the ideological clash between Western democracy and capitalism versus Eastern communism and authoritarianism. Beyond its physical barrier, it embodied a psychological divide, stifling aspirations and deepening mistrust between East and West. The turning point. By the late 1980s, communism's grip in Eastern Europe was weakening. Revolutions in countries like Poland and Hungary inspired East Germans to demand greater freedoms, culminating in massive protests, including a rally of 500,000 in East Berlin. On November 9, 1989, a miscommunication led East German officials to announce that border crossings were open. Crowds surged to the Berlin Wall, and overwhelmed guards eventually allowed free passage. This unexpected moment of liberation symbolized human courage and unity, paving the way for German reunification on October 3, 1990, and setting a global precedent for peaceful change and collective action. What the wall represented. For those living on either side, the Berlin Wall was a daily reminder of the Cold War. Henning Meyer, a policy expert based in Berlin, noted that it symbolized not just a divided Germany, but also a fractured world. For East Germans, it represented oppression and isolation, cutting them off from the cultural and economic opportunities of the West. For those in the West, it was a testament to the resilience of democracy against authoritarianism and a sobering reminder of the human cost of division. Reunification brought immense relief and celebration, but it also came with challenges. Integrating 2 vastly different economies and political systems proved to be a monumental task. The western part of Germany, already an economic powerhouse, faced the strain of bringing the less developed East up to par. Even today, disparities between the eastern and western parts of Germany linger, highlighting the complexities of such a historic merger. Efforts to address these imbalances continue to shape Germany's social and economic policies. Vladimir Putin and the fall's impact on Russia. Vladimir Putin, then a young KGB officer in East Germany, was deeply impacted by the fall of the Berlin Wall and the Soviet Union's dissolution. To him and many Russians, these events represented humiliation and a dramatic loss of influence. The rapid collapse of control over Eastern Europe and perceived Western encroachment fueled insecurity in Moscow. Gorbachev's reforms, like perestroika and glasnost, while transformative, hastened the Soviet Union's decline. For Putin, this era underscored the risks of appearing weak, shaping his focus on restoring Russia's global status through military strength and strategic influence. The Cold War's legacy. The fall of the Berlin Wall marked the Cold War's end, a period of nuclear brinkmanship and ideological rivalry. While the early 1990s promised a peaceful, cooperative world, that optimism faded as the Soviet Union's collapse left a power vacuum. New conflicts arose, and modern challenges like cyberattacks, disinformation campaigns, and economic competition have replaced traditional military confrontations. Experts, including Elizabeth Braw, highlight how today's tactics, targeting societies internally, are destabilizing and reflect the lingering impact of Cold War ideological divides. These dynamics underscore the ongoing relevance of the Cold War's lessons in today's geopolitics. Germany's role in Europe today. Modern Germany stands as a testament to resilience and reinvention. Once synonymous with division and conflict, it has emerged as a beacon of tolerance, multiculturalism, and economic strength. Its transformation from a war-torn nation to Europe's largest economy underscores its ability to adapt and lead. Germany's policies on renewable energy, climate change, and technology place it at the forefront of global innovation. However, challenges remain. The rise of populist movements, particularly in parts of the former East Germany, reflects lingering disparities and frustrations. Economic gaps between the East and West have fueled debates about the pace and fairness of reunification efforts. Henning Meyer emphasized that while reunification was a monumental achievement, there is still work to be done to bridge the gap between East and West. Germany's ability to address these challenges will determine its role in shaping Europe's future. Russia's resurgence. In the years following the Berlin Wall's fall, Russia struggled to find its footing. The dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991 left the nation fragmented and economically vulnerable. Many Russians viewed this period as one of humiliation, particularly as NATO expanded eastward, incorporating former Soviet allies. These actions were seen by Moscow as a direct challenge to its influence and security. Today, under Putin's leadership, Russia has reasserted itself on the global stage. Through strategic alliances, military interventions, and assertive foreign policies, Moscow seeks to counterbalance U.S. dominance and promote a multipolar world order. This approach has been both criticized and admired, reflecting the complexities of global power dynamics. Russia's renewed presence in regions like the Middle East and Africa highlights its ambitions to reclaim a prominent role in international affairs. A new world order. The fall of the Berlin Wall was a defining moment in establishing a new world order. It paved the way for nuclear disarmament treaties, the expansion of democratic governance, and the integration of Eastern Europe into global markets. Yet the optimism of that era has been tempered by emerging challenges. The global landscape is now defined by shifting alliances and the rise of new powers. China's rise as an economic and military superpower, coupled with Russia's resurgence, has created a more multipolar world. The United States, once unchallenged in its dominance, now faces significant competition on multiple fronts. Meanwhile, issues like climate change, pandemics, and cyber warfare demand unprecedented levels of international cooperation. The lessons of the Berlin Wall's fall remain vital as nations navigate these complexities. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history and reflection. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more future videos. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What does the Berlin Wall symbolize to you? Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the stories that shape our world.